This is Daily Treasures with words of comfort, encouragement, and hope from the Word of God. Here is Dr. Nick Venditti with today's devotional.
March 26, Spiritual Authority from God. Welcome to Daily Treasures from the Word of God. Today's reading is 2 Corinthians 9 through 13. Our lesson is from 2 Corinthians 10:8. For even if I boast somewhat further about our authority, which the Lord gave for building you up and not for destroying you, I will not be put to shame. One of the important issues for the Apostle Paul in the Corinthian correspondence is spiritual authority. Let's see three propositions noted by Paul. First, spiritual authority comes from the Lord. The Lord is the source of all legitimate spiritual authority for Paul. In addition, there is positional authority. An example would be those who have church offices of pastor, elder, or deacon. However, we must be cautious in making a position our authority, rather than the Lord giving us that authority. Next, spiritual authority is for the edification of the church. Spiritual authority is not for one's personal satisfaction or to be abused by an individual. It is to serve God's people and others. The focus is other-centered rather than self-centered. This is so different from the value system of the world. The world advocates for the individual to be number one, yet the Bible expresses that one is to love God with our heart, strength, and mind. In other words, all of our being should come under the lordship of Jesus Christ. God's objective for all believers is for them to know Him better. This is part of spiritual maturity and growth in fulfilling the Lord's will. The gifts and fruit of the Spirit play such an integral part in being able to express God's love towards the other members of the believing community. Third, spiritual authority is not for destruction. This is the negative perspective of authority. The outcome of authority that is not God-centered tends to lead to destruction both at the individual and community levels. The kings of the northern kingdom are a prime example of the destructive and coercive effect of unbridled self-aggrandizement. They all did evil in the eyes of the Lord. Since they were the rulers, the people were heavily influenced and distanced from God and the Torah. The Lord spoke through prophets in order to draw Israel back to Him. These men of God exhorted the people to return to the ways of their fathers and keep the covenant with the Lord. However, the people responded in disobedience. The fact of the matter is that judgment fell upon them due to their obstinate ways. In conclusion, spiritual authority comes from the Lord. Spiritual authority is for the edification of the church, and spiritual authority is not for destruction. May our hearts be pure and seek the Lord. He in return will give us all the spiritual authority needed to surpass any obstacle. It has been a pleasure to share with you daily treasures from the Word of God. Tomorrow's Bible reading is the Epistle to the Galatians. Let's not forget the words of the psalmist. The law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of gold and silver pieces. Until tomorrow, and may God bless you in abundance as you study the Word of God.